So lately I've been thinking about something I've recently coined the I don't know principle. See, I believe we have at least two big realizations growing up, or at least two that I've personally experienced. There's probably more that I personally haven't lived through yet, but these are the two ones that I know. The first occurs a little bit after puberty when your body starts making these drastic new changes and your brain starts making these fantastic new connections and you start to see the world in a different way as a result. Most adults refer to this kind of stage as the I know everything phase, which is both a true and untrue statement. See, what it is, as I mentioned before, the brain starts developing all these fantastic new connections and it's changing in all these new and wonderful ways, and we start to see the world differently. It's like, for the first time, we're suddenly much more aware of what the world is. And when we see the world, we also see more of the reality of it. A lot of good stuff too, but some of the darker elements that kind of take us by surprise. We see all the injustices, all the uncruelty, all the unfairness. We're suddenly just made aware that these things exist, and we just begin to understand the scope of that. And that's the frustrating thing about being a kid at that age, isn't it? Because it's frustrating. Because the world shouldn't be like that, right? It shouldn't be that unfair. And we look at the adults, and the adults are supposed to have all the answers, who are supposed to fix everything, and we see that they haven't done any of those things. That they really don't have any clue. And then we get mad, right? And then we start asking some of the questions like, why is this here? Why haven't you fixed it? Why don't you just do this? Or why don't you just do that? Because when we get to that point in our lives, when we start to realize and we start to see the world in this way, we also don't know how complicated a lot of these situations are. And we think that there is a simple, logical solution. And it's frustrating as a kid when we see the people who are running this world, especially now, and they're not doing these simple things. So when adults see these, usually teenagers or young adults with this particular attitude, they usually say something along the lines of, you'll understand when you're older, or you're just a kid, you don't know what you're talking about. And that doesn't minimize the struggle that people that age are going through, because there's a lot of things changing, and it's not exactly an easy thing. And honest to God, I hate those phrases because they always strike me as condescending and they don't help anything. But that being said, there is some truth to it. And that kind of leads into the second big realization growing up, which is the I don't know principle. See, when I was growing up, I kind of went through my journey of self-discovery at a bit of an early age. I think I was around 16. And I was aware of the I know everything phase, the thing I just discussed. And I remember to try to basically counter this, I kept telling myself that I don't know anything, realistically. At the time, I mostly said that as a means of staying humble, or trying to at least. But I don't think I quite understood what that meant, at least not then. See, there's a big difference between knowing something and understanding something. It's basically the difference between knowing what a math equation is and understanding how, where, and when to use it. Anyway, I remember one day, and I don't remember what led up to this. I don't think it was anything good. I was around 18 or 19. And I just woke up one day and I just realized I had like this big light bulb moment when I was like, wow, I don't know shit. Ah, boy. It's like I finally understood that little phrase I kept telling myself for years. For years I told myself that. And only then did I finally understand what the hell that meant. And let me tell you, it's a pretty crappy realization, because suddenly all those simple solutions, the answers, they're gone. They're all gone because, more or less, they're all wrong. Because few things are as simple as you've made it up in your head to be at that point. And that's the I don't know principle. Being acutely aware that when asked life's big questions or faced with one of life's big problems, the only real answer you have is, I don't know. And it's scary, right? The uncertainty. Uncertainty scares me, even though I know it shouldn't, because the uncertainty has promise in that there's excitement because there can be so many great and wonderful things just around the corner, and that's incredible and that's great, and that I should be more excited about those potentials. But at the same time, there's the other side of the coin where it also could be terrible things and really scary things, and I guess that side kind of wins me over a bit more, unfortunately. So just for clarification purposes, I'm going to share a few of my big I don't knows. The ones that really just scare me to no end. I don't know where my future lies. I don't know if I'm making the right decisions or I'm just fucking everything up. I don't know what to do about situations that are beyond my control, and I don't know how to stop myself from trying to control them. I don't know if the friends I have now are going to be here with me in a few years, and I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, either way. I don't know the answer to life's big questions like, why are we here, or what's our purpose? I don't know what to do when I see a friend hurting, someone I care about, in a situation where I can do nothing. I don't know how to... I don't know how to be okay with not being able to fix it. I don't know if the actions I take now or later will permanently hurt the people I care about the most, and I don't know what to do if it does. I don't know if I'm onto something, or I'm full of shit about anything, about everything. And those I don't know scare the crap out of me, because no matter what I say, no matter what I do, no matter what I try to convince myself, I don't know the answers. And I'm not sure that I ever will. And when that realization hits you, it hits you hard, but there's a hidden blessing behind it too, because it can ignite that drive, that longing to look and find the answers, to investigate, to explore and question everything around you, to ask yourself the hard questions and learn from whatever theories or experiences you have as a result. It's an endless pool of self-growth and wisdom and power and knowledge, and it's a pursuit that we all have to the day we die, and it is a wonderful thing. It allows you to explore the world as it is instead of criticizing for what it's not, and that is exciting, because that's what we're all doing, isn't it? We're just trying to find our own answers. We're trying to find a reality, a basic understanding of the world that makes sense to us, that builds on what we know or replaces what we know. Either way, it's that pursuit of knowledge that is one of our greatest human gifts, is that ability to pursue that knowledge. And even on those who have settled on answers to the big questions, at least they have one that makes sense to them. It doesn't mean they're right. I mean, who the hell knows if they're right? I mean, and in the end, who the hell cares? Because by realizing we know nothing, we are finally allowed to start looking for something that's gonna carry importance to us. And when that happens, the possibilities are endless for great and terrible things. because life is going to throw both at you, whether you like it or not. And I'm going to start trying to see the good side of that, the exciting part, rather than the part that scares me. So that's the I don't know principle. What are some of your I don't knows? And have you found answers for the ones that you have or have had in the past? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and maybe we can talk about them in the next video. Until then, this is Michael the Comic Nerd, concluding another episode of NPCN Talks, and I'll see you all later.